Hi and welcome to the fifth video in our PowerShell Universal project series. In this series, we are building a Active Directory help desk tool for our help desk employees where they are going to be able to enable, disable, unlock user accounts, and also reset passwords. So let's just take a quick look at where we were from the last video, and I'm going to show you guys what we're going to be building in this video. So in the last video here, where we ended off is we were able to see all the employees, of course, with our search. And then we also added in the last video, the auto open details to automatically open all the details or not when you select a user. And then we also added the ability to unlock a user. So if I go ahead, we can see that this test employee 1 is locked out. If I go ahead and click unlock user here, now, the only way to actually see that it's actually truly been unlocked is, of course, clicking on employee 2 and clicking back on employee 1, and we're going to see that the locked out is false. What we're going to be doing today is adding the buttons for enabling and disabling a user, as we're only going to be using one API route for doing both of those. But what we're also going to be doing is the auto refresh of this entire section. So if we go here, let's go ahead, let's search our users once again. Let's grab our test employee 1 here and let's just disable the user, as we can see here that it is currently enabled. So let's go ahead and let's hit disable user. And we can see that it automatically goes to enabled false. And then if we click on enable user, we will see that it goes back to enabled true. So it does a full auto refresh here. If we click on unlocked user, if the user was locked out, it would also auto update that as well. So we're going to be seeing how to do that in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first thing that we really have to do, of course, is create that endpoint to allow us to unlock enable or disable that user. So let's go ahead, let's go into our endpoints here. So we can see that we have our get user, our search users, and we can also see that we have our unlock user route here. So let's create an endpoint, and we are once again going to name this one help desk / and let's do a set account status here, because we want to take care of the enable and disable in one route. I find that's just a lot easier to handle. We don't have to create two routes. It just simplifies a lot of our work. And we're going to do a post method here. And then the path, as we all know, we just like to do a / and then help desk - set account status .ps1. And now the security, we want to require authentication, of course, for this one. And similar to our unlock here, I only want it to be an administrator that can do it, or the administrator role users that can do it. So let's go ahead and let's put the execution role and the role to administrator. And then our execution is once again going to be PowerShell 7. Now, if you remember in the last video, because of our service account that is currently running PowerShell Universal, is only set to a domain user account. So they have the ability to search Active Directory, but when it comes to enabling, disabling accounts, or unlocking accounts, or resetting password, a regular domain user doesn't have access to do that. So we will be running as the PSU user service. So this is an account that we've configured in the last video with the account administrator privileges. So they're able to perform any type of user action here. So let's go ahead and let's click on OK. And it's going to create our route. Let's go into edit code. And what I actually like to do, because what we can really do is let's go into our unlock user code here. And let's go ahead and let's copy that. And let's go into our set account status and let's just paste that in here. So all we really need to do is add a status variable here. So we're going to be expecting a username in the body, and we're also going to be expecting a status here. So I'm going to add the variable status equals data.status. All right, and then what I like to do as well is we are just going to get rid of this initial call here, because in this one, we are just going to enable or disable the account regardless of the current status, but you can definitely add checks to that as well. So all we are going to do is we are going to keep the last one here, and we're going to say if status. So if we are passing in a status here. So what our statuses are really going to be, it's going to be either true or false. And then if it's true, we are going to be enabling the account. If it is false, we are going to be disabling the account. Because in reality, when you look at the AD user enabled field, if it's true, it's enabled. If it's false, it's disabled. So we're kind of keeping that same value here. So you can definitely add some checks beforehand. If it is already the status, maybe you can return something like the user is already enabled or the user is already disabled, something like that. But we're just going to be really, really simple today. So we're going to do enable AD account, and we are going to do the identity of username. We're going to put in our server, which is jack.local. And I like to always add a dash confirm here with the colon false. And we are basically going to be doing the exact same thing here. So you can actually copy paste that directly into the else section. And we are going to be doing a disable here instead of enable. And then we can go ahead and we can get the AD user object here. Instead of the property locked out, we are going to be getting the properties enabled. And then we're going to be just checking on the enabled property. And if it is true here, we can say that user is enabled, and then user is disabled. All right, so regardless, we aren't doing any types of checks or anything like that. We are just simply getting the status that the user wants the account to be in, and then we either enable and disable the account, regardless of if it's already enabled or if it's already disabled. Like I said, you could easily do a check here as well if you wanted to. I don't really find too much use out of that, but you can definitely do that to make it a little bit more user-friendly to your end users. All right, so once we actually have that all complete, let's go ahead, let's hit save. And then what I really like to do is I like to just go into the test options here and then go into code. And I like to simply copy this little bit here because that's going to help us in our application. So now that we have our endpoint for enabling and disabling our users, let's go ahead, let's go into the apps section here, go into edit our code for our help desk, into pages, and into our page here. So what we really want to do at this point is add in these two buttons that are really going to be doing the work. So here we found our button unlock here in new button. So let's go ahead and let's create a new. Actually, what we can actually do, instead of just rewriting it, let's just paste our URL right in the code here so we don't lose it. And then what we can actually do is just copy paste this entire new button section that we used in the last video here for the unlock. And we're going to do btn enable. And we're going to change the text, of course, to btn enable and then enable user. And then what we're going to be doing, so here the only thing that we actually have to change pretty much is the URI of the invoke REST method. So now we can go ahead, we can erase that line that we pasted in. And then the only other thing that we have to do, as we remember, is now we require an extra value in our body called status. Let's go ahead and let's add status here. And because we want to enable the user, we're going to be setting that to true. And then all we need to do to, of course, perform the disable is let's go ahead, let's select this here. Let's copy that entire new button enable. And let's just fix the formatting here. And let's name this btn disable. And then this is going to be disable user. And the only thing that we actually have to change here is from status equals true the status equals false. And now if we actually save this, all right, let's go back into our application here and let's search for our test user. And we can see that we can get that it is currently enabled. So let's just hit disable user here. We can see that the user did get disabled. I think I have a typo in my return here that you guys probably saw that before I did. If we go back into test employee 2 and then go back into test employee 1, we can see that it is actually enabled equals false. And then if we hit enabled user, and let's go back and forth here, and we can see that it is actually enabled. So now let's go ahead and let's make it so that when we click any of these buttons here, it auto updates this entire section. So we do have a little bit of work in order to be able to actually do that, but the work is actually not that bad. So what we actually have to come down to is this new UD element ID LST detail. So what we actually want to do is instead of a new UD element here, we're going to do a new UD dynamic. We're going to keep the ID the exact same, but we will have to add a single parameter here, and that is going to be the parameter argument list. And then what we're going to do that in there is we're going to do an array with the variable null in there. And we're going to see why we're doing null in just a little second here. So what we're going to do now is right after the content, what I like to do is just Sam account name as a variable here. And we're going to make that equal the argument list square bracket 0, which is, if you are not used to arrays, that is going to be the first element in our array here. So for the first element, it's going to be null here. And then what we're going to add in here is if Sam account name is equal to null, then let's go ahead and let's do the new UD list content. So if we do not have a Sam account name, let's go ahead and let's create this list with our placeholders. Else, so now this is where we are going to say that if we are passing in a Sam account name here, let's go ahead and let's load that in. Now, we actually have all of this work complete, and that is actually going to be up here in our table. Now, we actually have this full user details set UD element. Let's go ahead and let's copy this entire block of code. Let's actually cut it out altogether. So on our on row selection for our UD table right now, it should show nothing. And then if we go back into our else statement here, let's go ahead, let's paste that in. And now the first thing that we, of course, want to do is keep user details here. Now you're going to see it's a little bit messy after I pasted that in. One of the nice features with PowerShell Universal, if your code ever gets a little bit difficult to read, just do a Control A for highlighting all of it, and then format the document, and that will format it really nicely for you. So here we have user details, set UD element. So we actually don't need this set UD element. So let's go ahead, let's find the parentheses that actually closes that off here, and let's remove the set UD element. All right, so now we just have a new UD list, which is perfect, because the reason that we don't need to do a set UD element is we've removed that element altogether. We are already inside of that element, and it's going to be dynamically loaded. So that's where it's actually really, really handy. Now we don't need event data.sam account name. All we actually need here for the getting user details is just $Sam account name, because we set that up here based on the argument list. And then the rest will load in automatically. So let's go ahead and let's just once again do a Control A, format that so it looks all nice for us. And then what I really like to do right off the bat, because if we try this right now when we select someone in the table, it's not going to work. So what we actually have to do is in our new UD table is do a sync dash UD element. And we're going to do our ID here. And our ID is going to be LST details. Our argument list here is going to be event data.SAM account name. So here we are passing in the SAM account name from the row selected into our argument list for LST details, and it's going to resync that. So it's going to rerun that whole component with this new argument list. And now all you actually want to do is copy paste this sync UD element. And now let's go find our buttons here. So our unlock user, at the end of it, we are going to do a sync UD element, but instead of passing in event data.sam account name, of course, we are going to be passing in just our selected username here that we are grabbing, and we are going to do that same thing here for the enable button and also the disable button. And now let's go ahead and let's hit save. And now if we go into our application, let's search up for the test user here. Let's select our test employee 1. Let's hit disable user. It auto updates. If we hit enable user, it auto updates as well. Now let's go ahead. Let's just for fun, let's test out the unlock user, make sure that that works. So let's go ahead and let's lock up our user here. So give me just a few seconds here to lock up that user for us. All right, that is locked out now. So now if we go back from test employee 2 to test employee 1, we're going to see that it's locked out. So we can actually also disable the user, and we can see that now it is enabled and it is locked out. So let's go ahead, let's re-enable the user. It's still locked out. So let's go ahead and let's click on the unlock user, and it actually automatically unlocks that user and updates that field. So it is a lot nicer to use, being that you don't have to go back and forth from users. So that is really going to help. And here we can still see that password last set was May 31st, 2026. So here in the next video, we're going to be adding that reset password, and we're going to see that that password last set is also going to change, because it's not just updating the enabled and locked out, it is actually reloading this entire thing. So if anything else has actually changed, you would actually see that as well, which is really, really awesome. We can maybe even add a little refresh button that will just auto sync it if you think that someone, maybe you contacted the system administrator in your company as your help desk user because you saw something wrong, but you can't make the change based on the options that you have here, and they go ahead and they make that change. You can actually go ahead and hit refresh and pull all that information back instead of switching users, which just, again, facilitates that work for that help desk employee. So that is it for this video. Again, you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned for that next video where we actually reset the password, because we're going to be building a whole function to generate us a nice random strong password. And then if there are anything else that you want to see in this application, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to perform every single one of those. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also, be sure to hit that notification bell to be notified when that next video comes out, and I will see you guys on the next video.